for the techniques, we are considering paraphrase. Paraphrase. What is paraphrase? What does it mean? What does paraphrase mean? Who can assist to define paraphrase? Do you have an idea of what paraphrasing means? Okay, Mr. Shegu, do you have any idea of what paraphrasing means?
So I think it's to rephrase or just to, like give another meaning to what was common to what or something you listen to.
All right,
Give another meaning to it.
That's very correct. Please, can you do justice to that? What does paraphrasing mean?
Paraphrase in which context? Is it calling of? And the context of writing is music.
Yes, paraphrasing is paraphrasing.
It's paraphrasing. Paraphrasing means transferring a word to only just move it is restructuring the word without altering the meaning. But you can use some other synonyms to put it in the way, but don't alter the meaning of it.
Very correct. So for our note taking, paraphrasing is a writing technique of restating an information using synonyms or phrases that still retain the original idea. It's a writing technique or a speaking technique as well of restating what has been established using synonyms or phrases that still mean the same as the original information. Please, is this clear to us? Now, in listening text, maybe Mr. Shegu or Mrs. Shakirat, you share your experience with us. The first day you had your mock test, did you actually follow the audio from the beginning till the end? Were you able to catch what the audios expressed at each point in time during your listening test? You did my practice. Mrs. Shakira did my practice. Okay. Yes, Mr. Shakira, let's hear from your experience. When you had the listening mock test on when was that? Was it Monday or Wednesday or thereabouts? Did you actually catch everything that the audio gave to you following questions 1 to 40?
And then so I learned to always, read the question, have the question at the back of my mind before listening to, before going forward.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much.
The part that I got mixed up was the part where I had to listen and also identify a diagram, use the diagram to answer my questions. It was more like doing like 10 things together.
Exactly. All right, thank you so much. Now, why I asked you this question is because generally, for anyone who is taking the listening test for the first time ever, you will always experience moments when you won't even realize where exactly the audio is treating. You won't realize which question the audio is treating at some point. The only thing you realize is while you're waiting to hear what you have read, the audio will now tell you that is the end of your listening text. You may now transfer your answers. And at this point, you don't have any answer you have written down, right? So at this point, Ms. Shakira has to say, what is this now? I'm not doing anything. What am I to transfer? So she will have to go back and replay it to now hear what she had to transfer. Okay, so now Why that may have happened is not because you were not hearing the words that the audio was actually playing out. But the reason you missed a lot of those answers at your first attempt was because of paraphrase. You had read the question and you were expecting the audio to read the question using the words you have read. Whereas audio will never do that. If audio does that, it becomes simple for everyone to pass. So they're looking for the smart people. Those that would read a word and understand when the audio uses the synonyms to express the same questions. So that's what the audio will always do during your listening test. Audio will always paraphrase the questions you have read. So if you are good vocabulary bank, if you have built your lexical resources over time, understanding the synonyms of a lot of words and how they may be applied during the spoken English as well as written, it will be easier for you to catch when the audio is treating the question using the substitute words. Now let's understand how this paraphrasing plays out during your listening test. Paraphrasing happens by way of the audio changing words to figures. You will read words, you read your questions written in words. Then when the audio is actually treating those questions, the audio will change some of the key information written as words into figures. Right? Audio also changes the figures that are written on the question paper to words. Audio can as well change certain words or figures written on your question paper to fractions or percentages. Then lastly, audio can change certain words or figures to general terminologies. Alright, please, those of us viewing from the YouTube platform, please do well to just like this video. You are free to share the link to as many friends of yours as possible. Thank you so much. Now let's look at the different areas the audio can paraphrase your listening test to. You would read a question and you would see that the question says something like, for those traveling from Ohio to Massachusetts, United States, there are new reviews of your transport fare. Because of the general increments across the globe, the government has actually added little token to the amount. You will now be paying the sum of $100 during the peak hours if you want to go to Dash. On your question paper, you will see that the words written would be $100 if you want to go to Dash. That's the location or destination now. For the audio to talk about this $100, you may hear something like, for those traveling to Ohio during peak hours, the fee has increased to about $8 as against what we used to pay. Okay, now it has increased by $1. That means you might be paying $100 before, but now you would have to pay $100 and about 100 cents added to it. $100 and about 100 cents added to it. Now what is that 100 cents? 100 cents is equivalent to $1. So you might hear 100 cents. 100 cents, if you change it, it's equivalent to $1. Now remember the audio says there is an added $1 to it. Now, but this 100 cents is not going to be your answer. But it's going to indicate to you that the audio is treating this part. So if, for instance, audio says 100 cents is now the current fee. Audio may paraphrase this to just $1 because 100 cents is equivalent to $1. So on your question you have $1, the audio paraphrases $1 to 100 cents. On the question you might have 100 cents, audio will paraphrase it to $1. Alright? So when you hear $1 and you have 100 cents on the question, please quickly go to where you have that 100 cents. That's where the audio is treating at that point. Because when you don't realize where the audio is treating, automatically you won't get to know when the answer will be said. So while you are busy waiting to hear 100 cents or $1, they've said that particular part and the answer has also been given and in another way, and you are still waiting. Please, this is the way it plays out. Now, you may also realize that your question is talking about a month. It's talking about a month, and the audio paraphrases it to about 4 weeks. A month is on your question paper. Audio, when treating this part that has a month, the audio will change it to 4 weeks. So when the audio is giving you 4 weeks, please go back, come to this point and continue. That's where the audio is treating. You had the experience yesterday. So this is the way audio paraphrases your words to figures and sometimes figures to words. Please, do you understand this? Yes, I can hear you.
Thank you so much. This helpful. So I realized yesterday when we were treating words brackets, just in order to see that we are safe. There's some should I say words like time, currency, country, time, currency, and some things like that were usually like fall in that category of brackets.
Yeah.
If you understand.
Yes, I know.
I'm realizing that it's almost the same for this particular session where time as well can be changed to something similar but in figures, just like you mentioned. So are there like categories like time, currency? I'm taking note of time and currency.
Yeah.
But are there like other words that fall in this category that we can take note of?
Okay, that can be paraphrased as well.
Yes, that can be paraphrased into figures or that can be bracketed in terms of.
Yes, very well. There's a number of such instances. We are going further, so I would expose a lot more to you, right?
Okay.
So this, we have just taken care of questions that may paraphrase, or questions that the audio may paraphrase from words that are written on your question paper to figures. So please always prepare your mind. When the audio says, first you have some time to read questions 1 to 5. When the audio tells you have some time to read questions 1 to 5, it is because of paraphrasing. They want you to read the questions and prepare your mind for possible paraphrases. Alright? Please, whenever the audio tells you, first you have some time to read questions 1 to 5, or questions 21 to 40, or whatever thing it tells you, whatever number range. Please, they tell you that on purpose, so you would read the questions and identify keywords or major information in the question, because those are the things the audio will definitely paraphrase. Right? Now let's go to paraphrasing words or figures to fractions or percentage. On your question paper, you may see words such as a quarter, or sometimes you can as well see it as 1/4. Now 1/4 simply can be paraphrased to fraction as what? 1/4. 1/4 can be paraphrased as what?
The fraction is
Fraction.
is 1/4.
1/4?
Whether it's 55%, that's 1/100.
for fraction
Yeah,
first.
1 over 4.
Fraction is 1 over 4. So you may see a quarter written on the question paper. The audio will tell you 1 out of 4 of the total population of 1 out of 4 simply means a quarter. So please go to where you have a quarter and continue. That's where the audio is treated at that point in time. 1 out of 4 of the total number of blah blah blah, it is talking about a quarter. So once you are able to catch where the audio is treating, irrespective of the level of paraphrase, it will now help you to get where the answer will be said. Now, after this, how else can we paraphrase a quarter or 1 over 4 to percentage? All right, he said 25%. You will realize that there are instances words will be written on the question paper, but when it comes to the audio giving you what you are supposed to hear, it will change. A quarter may be written on your question, but the audio, while treating it, will change it to 25%. And you are looking for 25% on the question, you can't find it. It is because it has been paraphrased. So please, always take note of this. Once there is paraphrasing, don't feel they've not started treating that particular place. In your mind, you will conclude that they are just playing. They are not playing. They are very, very serious. They are about to say the answer. So please always look out for that. Okay. We can also go further to talk about a question that may say a half or half of an entire whatever quantity. So half of an entire whatever quantity can be paraphrased in fraction as what? 1 over 2. Some people might say 2 out of 4. It is still talking about half. Fine. Now the percentage of half of an entire would be 50%. Now, please, when you see something like this, don't hesitate to go to where the written words are and catch up from there. Continue from there, because that's what they are paraphrased, and it would help you to quickly catch the answer, because when you don't realize where the audio is treating, automatically you will miss a lot of answers. Okay, so these are ways you may experience paraphrases, right? Changing words that are written on your question paper to figures, changing figures written on the question paper to your words, changing words or figures to fractions or percentages. Then lastly, let's go to the section of changing words or figures to general terminologies. I'm going to write a long list of things that the audio will change for us, and I'll give you just about 60 seconds or 120 seconds to please change all of that to the possible ways of paraphrasing them. Right? So let's get started.
Watch him to know when the session ends.
There's just one person that is online. Just one person.
Okay, so let's understand. Let's look at what we have right there on the board. I would zoom in for Right. So on the board we have a list of possible paraphrases that may play out during your listening test. I would simply like to give us about 60 seconds. In 60 seconds, somewhere at the back of your notes or somewhere on the jotter or anywhere, draft out what you think can be used to paraphrase any of these particular lists. Alright? For instance, every day, how else might the audio paraphrase every day? In your own words, write out the paraphrasing or paraphrases of each of these lists of words or information on the board. Just in 60 seconds. Anyhow. Anyhow, whether in words, figure, symbol, whatever it is, in 60 seconds, please paraphrase them. Let's see. Our time starts now. Huh? I don't like this one. Okay, ladies first. Mrs. Shakirat, how do you paraphrase every day? Every day, yes please. How can we paraphrase every day? Pardon? Oh, 7 days. Okay. Mr. Sheikh, we paraphrase every day. Let's hear from you. I can hear you, madam. 7 days. Yes, gotten. Daily. Okay, Chief, what would you say? Daily. Thank you. So we are acknowledging the two. So IELTS audio can paraphrase every day to daily or 7 days. So please prepare your mind for that. What about every week? How might we paraphrase every week? Mrs. Shakira, please. Pardon? Thank you. Mr. Shagu, what do you have? Okay, Chief, what do you have? Weekly? Oops. Oh, sorry, I used every day here. I used 7 days here. Oh, it's supposed to be daily or every 24 hours. Please. Then for every week, we can have weekly or every 7 days. Is that taken? Now let's look at every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks, how might you paraphrase every 2 weeks? Mrs. Shakira. Pardon? 14 days. Mr. Shek, what do you have?
Bi-weekly and 14 days.
Bi-weekly and 14 days. What do you have? Fortnight. Nice. Nice. Remember, IELTS is looking for advanced words. So fortnight is actually very prompt. So fortnight this way, or you are talking about bi-weekly. Mr. Sheku, please don't put hyphen in between. If you put hyphen, it changes the meaning.
Okay.
Bi-weekly goes this way. Then, what about every... Okay, 14 days is actually okay, it's correct. I must acknowledge that. But we are looking for more advanced English expressions, okay? Now let's go to every month. What do we have? I'm going to do that very quickly. Monthly or every 4 weeks. Now let's look at every 3 months. What do we have? Paraphrase, Mrs. Shakira. Pardon? Every 3 months, yes please. A what?
Every quarter.
Mr. Sheikh, can I hear you please? Quarterly, yeah, that's for Mrs. Okay, apart from the correction, Mr. Sheikh, I wanted to correct something. So you know, in as much as we are preparing for listening test, we are also indirectly preparing for speaking tests, right? How do we pronounce this word? How do we pronounce it?
Kota.
Pardon?
Kota, kota.
And how do you pronounce this word?
Kota.
Do you think they are the same? Okay, please take this correction. The C-U-T-T-E-R is the quarter, right? Then Q-U-A-R-T-E-R is quarter, okay? Yes, please. Yes, please, because examiners are also listening to your pronunciations. So every 3 months is quarterly. Now let's look at 6 months. Every 6 months, what do we have?
Biannually.
Perfect. Now here hyphen would come in, okay? Biannually. Then every year, what do we have?
Sir, please, why do we have to add yes, and we have for bi-weekly?
Okay, nice observation. Now, in every language, including Yoruba, we don't have when you have two independent words being merged together, it is only natural that you separate when you have two vowel sounds or letters.
Okay.
But here we have a vowel. Where is that? We have a vowel right here and a consonant. So it will fly.
Okay, they will fly.
Yes,
So
perfect.
these two is consonants.
These two are vowels.
Okay, but
Okay? So you have to give them some. Let them breathe. Because by is a word of its own, right? For those that do sciences, me, I'm not my head to look at mathematics. So I didn't do sciences. I did arts. But I know that while in JSS 3 I learned about the 21 chemical blah 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 formulas. And by is one of them. By indicates what? Two. Is that correct? So it's a word of its own. And then coming to join it with annually, you have to give them a little breathing space using the hyphen. Alright, so let's proceed. Every year is considered to be what? Annually or yearly. Right? Then every 2 years, who is able to give me this? Every 2 years. What do we have? Every 2 years is
24 months.
24 months, not bad, correct? With Shakirat, what do you think?
clearly.
Okay, every 2 years is biannually. Don't worry, English is a crazy language. You just have to do it. Okay, so every 2 years is biannually. Then let's look at this. Nearly 25. Just anything. 25, anything. Yes, nearly 25. How might the audio paraphrase this? Audio will give you about 2 dozens. About 2 dozens. So when you see about 2 dozens, it doesn't mean 24. Because nearly 25 does not also mean 25.
25.
Yes. So it falls within the range of 23, 24, 25. So about 2 dozens doesn't actually give you 24 as well. So it could be 23, 24, or even 25. Because 2 dozens will give you 24. That's please, I need you to just open your mind. IELTS is a very technical exam that requires you to think outside the regular. That's the only way you'll be able to cope. Now, 20 persons. How do you think the audio might paraphrase 20 persons? Anybody? So it could be a score of individuals. A score of individuals is equivalent to 20 persons. 20 is what? A score, right? Now let's look at 10 years of existence. How can this be expressed? 10 years? A decade. A decade. Please, let's always give the article. 30 years of existence can be paraphrased as what? 3 decades. 100 years of existence can be paraphrased to a century. Thank you. 1,000 years can be paraphrased as what? A
Millennium.
pardon?
Millennium.
Millennium year. How will you put
Millennium.
Mr. Shegu? A millennium. Thank you. Now, a millennium is 1,000 years. So don't repeat years after the millennium. That will be what English called tautology. Okay? So let's understand. How do we spell millennium? This is where my test comes in. Mrs. Shakira, please, we'll start with you. How can we spell millennium? Aha. Please, gradually, ma. I'm writing. Okay. Okay. M-E. M-E-L. Please, we should not use Siri. M-E-L-I-N what? M-U. Oh, okay, M-E. So, how do we pronounce that? Okay, I will not pronounce it. I mean, Shakira, that you pronounce it for us. M-I. Okay, this sounds a little better than this. Millennium. Fair. That's fair. But don't worry, we'll get the correct spellings. Alright? That's why we are here. We're here to learn. Mr. Shegu, please give me your own spelling of millennium. Please, let's not try to Google very quickly. Let's not try to Google very quickly. Let's just work on ourselves.
Okay, so millennium be M-I-L-L-E-N.
No, Mr. Shegu, Mr. Shegu, you used Google. It's either you use Google or you use dictionary. Because I can tell you that 85% of Nigerians will fail this word. That's what I'm sure.
So millennium park is like one of my favorite places. So.
Oh, because there's no gate fee. Alright, so that's very correct. So millennium is spelled as M-I-L-L-E-N-N-I-U-M. This is the correct spelling of millennium. Please, we need to also add this to our vocabulary bank. A millennium. Okay, then 25 years anniversary. How can this be paraphrased?
Happy Jubilee.
Pardon?
Happy Jubilee.
No, there is something he pronounced.
How?
Did you say half a jubilee?
Yeah.
What's the full one? All right. The 25 years is called silver. Is a silver jubilee. Okay.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Then 50 years is golden.
Oh,
Mr. Shebu, you are not acting like the typical Yoruba that likes so one man. They celebrate a lot of silver jubilee every now and then. All right, so please, these are different information that you can find on your question papers, and these are possible paraphrases the audio can give you as against what is written on the question paper. So please try to assimilate these guys and also take note of their possible paraphrases, right? Because these are things you would hear and you start looking for them on the question, you never see them. Rather, what is written have just been or has just been paraphrased. Please, is it clear to us?
yes.
Okay. Okay. Please, can we see the board? The other side of the board?
Yes, what's up?
All right. So let's look at the 4 sections of the listening test. First, we have to understand that during your listening test, all you're going to listen to get your answers from are grouped into 4. So that's why we have sections 1, 2, 3, and 4. Each section, all, you have a total of 40 questions. Please, is this clear? Now, please, you need to understand that the first 2 sections of the listening test, that's sections 1 and 2, are usually about social life. Sections 1 and 2 are usually about social life, while sections 3 and 4 are usually academic related. Please, do we understand this? Now, section 1, we are looking at dialogue. What does dialogue mean? What does dialogue mean? Mrs. Shakira, please tell us, what do you think dialogue means?
Dialogue means conversation between two
Conversation between 2
people.
people. Very correct. Very correct. All right. So no need to ask Mr. Shego and Chief here because she has given the perfect answer. Now, just to further add a little bit to what she has given us, dialogues are conversations between 2 persons or 2 parties. Of course, 2 parties would involve more people because some definitions will tell you 2 or more persons. So the more persons now include parties. Of course, each party may have more than 1 person, right? Now, in listening test, your section 1 is usually a dialogue. And over 80% of the dialogue you get to hear or listen to during the listening test is often via telephone calls, conversation, where someone would phone in to either make an inquiry or report a situation or lodge a complaint. Now, during such conversations, please, these are potential answers. First, name. If name is supposed to be a part of your answers, you will see that on your question paper, a name will be written, then dash. Now, the caller will be requested to give his or her name. And when the caller is giving the name, he or she will begin with the one that is already written on the question paper, and then says the one that is not. You as the test taker, you are expected to write only the one that is not written on the question paper. If you write the one that is written there already, your answer will be incorrect. So you need to listen and write only the name or part of the name that is not on the question paper. Now, there is something about the name. If the name is not a popular English name, it's going to be spelled. But if it is a popular English name, nobody will spell it for you. It will be assumed that you ought to have known such name. So you should listen and spell. For instance, you could hear bush, brown, lion, tiger. They bear such surnames. So when such names are given or said, please, you are expected to know the spelling and write it yourself. But if it's not a popular English name, it will be spelled. So during the spelling, please write. Write as quickly as the person is giving the constituents or components of the name. But then there are situations when you will get to hear the spellings and you start mixing those spellings with other letters. Letter A in English is called letter A, right? It's called A. But you'll be surprised that when it's being spelled in IELTS, you may not hear A, you may hear I. 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 So when you hear I, don't write letter I. We call it I in Nigeria. Don't write letter I, it is R. That's letter A. Then when they are spelling letter I, it will not be pronounced as I, it will be pronounced as oi. So don't write O-I. Then when it's about letter R, in Nigeria we make it vibrate R, but the native English speaker will call it R. R. The tongue does not touch the alveolar ridge, the roof of the mouth. No, it does not touch it. They just hang it there. R. So you might end up writing A, thinking they just sounded R. So please understand this. Then, if the name has letter W, that's what we call it here. W. They don't call W, they call it W. So some persons should write UU. So please, I'm giving you these 4 letters because these are letters that people write wrongly and the answer becomes incorrect. Now, there's also what they do when they spell a word or a name. They sound or pronounce that word like twice. So the caller will spell the name, then the receiver of the call will pronounce that name like once or twice. And the reason he is pronouncing the name is for you to confirm what you have spelled. So please, always take notice of that. Then telephone numbers. If telephone numbers are required to be a part of your answers, please, the phone number will be called out. Just the way names are spelled. Phone numbers will also be called out. So when the phone number is being called out, please be very fast to write because calling digits are usually very easy. So they call them very fast. So you need to be very smart to write as quickly as the person is calling out the digits. But there is something about calling telephone numbers out. Sometimes on your question paper, you would realize that first 4 digits are already on the question paper, or first 5 digits are there already. Then you see dash. Now, when the caller is given his or her phone number, he or she will also start from that same numbers that are already written on the question paper. Right? So please, do not write the digits that are already on the question paper. Don't write them as part of your answers on your answer sheet. They will make your answer to be incorrect. So you have to be careful to observe whether the digits he or she is calling are the ones on the question paper. If they are, allow her to finish the first 4 digits, then as she continues or as he continues, you then start writing. Please, do you understand this?
Yes.
Okay. Are we sure they are online? Okay. Yes. They are online. Okay. Yes. Okay, they are. All right. So this is what you want to do. Now let's look at DOB. DOB means date of birth. Date of birth. Now when date of birth is actually requested or required to be a part of your answer, the person will give you the date of birth, giving you the month and the day. We talked about that yesterday.
Yes.
Okay, I was born on August the 6th, or October the dash, or September the whatever it is. And I said, if you are writing, you need to write only the month and the day, not the year. And I also emphasized on the fact that you don't need to write the month in figure, like 01 for January, 02 for February. You are to spell the month in word. And I also said, do not write any word in a short form. Your answer is going to be marked wrong. Don't spell, make sure every word you're spelling has to be in full. Then when you write the day, remember to enter the subscript, right? Or suffix, and put it in bracket. Do you understand? So you have to listen and know what it is. Then address. If address is required to be a part of your answer, please, on the question paper, the address will be written. But there will be omission of either the street name or the street number. So if the street name is missing, the person, when giving the address, will mention the street name and you are expected to write it. Or if it is a street code or postal code, you are required to write it. Please don't miss that. Nationality. Nationality. Sometimes the person's country of origin may be required. So you are meant to listen attentively and spell the nationality. Nobody will spell nationality for you. Please, let's note that. Because it is expected that you should know different countries of the world and what they are called, or what persons from such countries are called. So let's look at different nationalities. A person from Nigeria is called a what? Is it Shakirat? A person from Nigeria is called a what? A person from Nigeria, what do you call it? What do you call the person as regards the nationality?
Nigeria.
Perfect. Nigerian, that's correct. A person from Niger, what do you call the person? Okay, don't worry yourself. Don't worry yourself. Mr. Shegun, a person from Niger, what we call such a person as regards the nationality?
Nigerians and Nigerians for Nigeria and Nigerians from Nigeria.
Okay. Edison, please come. Please hold for Mr. Shegun. Mr. Shegun, please spell The nationality of someone from Nigeria. Spell. Let's learn from you. Is this C on?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Shegun,
Sorry, I was noted on Niger.
Uh-huh.
IEL.
I-E-N. Okay, that's very correct. That's very correct. A Nigerian has A at this point, right?
Yeah.
But a person from Niger has E. And the pronunciation is not Nigeria. It's pronounced as Nigerian. It's a French word. Nigerian. The E gives you O, right? In French. Nigeria. All right, so let's proceed. A person from Côte d'Ivoire is called what? Is it Shakirat? A person from Côte d'Ivoire. A person from Côte d'Ivoire is
Ivorian.
Yes.
No, I honestly for not calling Côte d'Ivoire something out of Côte d'Ivoire. You know, the thing is, Côte d'Ivoire is a French version of Ivory Coast. So when I ask people, a person from Ivory Coast is called, they say Ivorian, fine. And I'm like, a person from Côte d'Ivoire is called a what? Okay, so Mr. Shakira, thank you so much for giving us the English version, but the pronunciation of that would be Ivorian, okay? Okay, now let's proceed. A person from Cameroon is called what? What? We have to be very fast. A person from Cameroon?
Cameroonian.
Cameroonian. A person from Togo? Mr. Shegun, a person from Togo is called a what?
I don't have to.
All right, let Chief tell us the answer.
Togolese.
A person from Togo is called a Togolese,
Yeah.
right? A person from Benin Republic, just the backyard here, Benin Republic, is called a what? Mr. Sheikh will help us now. Okay, Ms. Shakira, please tell us, a person from Benin Republic? Thank you so much. Okay, Mr. Sheikh, can you try? She got it like 85%. You like only Benin City. Okay, Chief, do you know? A person from Benin Republic is a Beninois. Beninois. That's the spelling. Then this is for, in French, this is for a male. A female will be Beninoise. There will be an E after that. Alright? Okay, now let's continue. A person from Kenya is called what?
Kenyans.
A person, singular. A person from Kenya is called what?
Kenya.
Oh.
Mr. Sheikh,
Kenya.
just Kenya.
Yes.
Mrs. Shakira, I think you got it short time, but a person from Kenya is called what? No, there is no phonetics. Kenyan. It ends with N, right? A person from Rwanda. A person from Rwanda is called what? Huh? Okay, you say Rwandians. Just put an N, please. Just an N, that's all. Now let's move to the West. A person from the US is called what?
American.
An American, correct? A person from the UK is called a what? Huh? In it. A person from the UK is called in it. You are your answer. Alright, so a person from the UK is a British. But you also need to tell me, a person from England is called what? It's called what? No, not really Irish. A person from England is called an English.
Yeah, English person.
Do you understand? Then, Mrs. Shakira, this question is for you specifically. A person from Ireland. A person from Ireland. I was trying to see if you would not get this one. Because I'm hearing Irish. Alright, so someone from Netherlands. Someone from Netherlands is called a what? No. A person from Netherlands. It's called what?
Hollandia.
It's called what?
Hollandia.
Hollandia. Oh God, you like that drink too much. Alright, a person from Netherlands is called a Dutch. Right? A Dutch.
Dutch person.
Yes. A person from Germany is called what?
German.
A German. A person from Peru. A person from Peru is called what? It's not the Peru that you dance to. It's called Peruvian. Peruvian. Now let me now test us basically now. A person from Morocco is called what? Moroccan, right? A person from Mexico is called what?
Mexican.
Mexican, nice. A person from Jericho is called what? Remember, let me give you a clue. A person from Mexico, Mexican. A person from what's the other one?
Jericho.
Jericho is called what? Is it Jerican? A person from Jericho is called Jerican. Is that what you're saying? I didn't teach you that. Jericho is just a city. Jericho is just a city, okay? Alright, please, I took you through all of those countries because in IELTS, if nationality, thank you. In IELTS, if nationality is required to be a part of your answer, it's never spelled. It is never spelled. The person will just pronounce his or her nationality. You are expected to spell it. So please don't take nationalities for granted. Even if you don't know their pronunciations, please learn their spellings. Okay? Now let's proceed to interest. The caller might be interested in a particular thing. It might be taking part in an excursion. It might be being a tour guide. It might be enrolling in a particular university program or workshop or seminar. It might be anything. So the interest will be established. And if you're supposed to be a part of your answers, you will have to spell and write. Then duration. How long is it meant to last? Duration. Please, during durations, you may have you may hear an answer, maybe 3 weeks or 4 weeks, and then the receiver of the call counters it and says it's a month. A month or 4 weeks. You know they are the same duration, right? The same duration. But which are you supposed to write? It is the question that will determine. So please go to the question, you will get your clue if it's supposed to be in month or in weeks. Right? Then, previous portfolio, if the person wants to be a tour guide, for instance, or the person wants to subscribe for a temporary job, the person may be requested to show or say if he or she has occupied such positions or have had such experiences in the past. So for that, you might hear, I used to be whatever, or I was whatever it is. So please listen and write. Then costs, anything that has to do with money, we learned that yesterday. Remember to check if there is a symbol, the currency symbol, or the currency spelled in word. If any of these exist on your question paper, remember you don't have to write it. You only write the figure, that's the amount. But if there is no such thing as symbol or spelled version of the currency, and the audio says it, please write and put it in bracket. Thank you. Then time. If time is also a part of the answers, please check if there is time of the day indicated on the question paper. It could be morning, afternoon, evening, or night. If it is stipulated there on your question paper, you do not need to write it as a part of your answer. Aha. So you need to be careful. You need to be careful. If it shows AM or PM, please don't repeat it on your answer paper. Just write the particular hour or hour and minutes. Okay, let's go to section 2. For section 2, we are looking at monologues. So I would like to ask you, what are monologues? Mrs. Shakira, please tell us what you think monologues are. What are monologues? Okay. Talking to yourself means you are soliloquizing. That's not monologue. Talking to yourself is when Nigerian problem is too much. Right? When the load is so much, you see the person talking to him or herself. So that's not actually monologue. For monologue to play out, there must be an audience. So monologue is when a person is giving a talk, delivering a speech, or making a presentation to an audience. Please, do you understand this?
Yes.
So you might experience monologues at lecture halls, at auditorium or auditoria. You might experience monologues at churches, mosques, at different seminars or workshops or symposia, whatever it is. One person will be giving a talk. Now, please understand this. In dialogues, you would notice that when two persons or two parties are engaging in dialogues or conversations, one person will be talking, the other waits. When the first person talking is done talking, then he or she will wait for the other to respond. And each time any of them gets to be talking, they talk at their own slow pace, right? So, dialogues are slower. But you see monologues, they're usually very fast. So you need to prepare your mind and catch up with the pace of the speaker. Now, during the monologues, you are to look out for nouns. Nouns are naming words, so they could give names of a person or animal or a scientist or a researcher. It could be a name of a particular innovation or invention or whatever gadget it is. So you have to listen attentively and give what is provided. Then issue. What is it about the noun? Let's assume it's an outbreak, perhaps a virus or a particular pandemic. So what is it about that particular thing? They will talk about it. So what issue it is will be discussed or will be established by the presenter. Then location. where was that thing founded? Or where was it first experienced? Or where was it first recorded? Where was it first innovated? Where? Location. So you need to listen and write. And what brought about it? What's the cause? What brought about it? It will always be established, the cause. Right? So, for instance, when you hear COVID-19, the location, what comes to your mind will be what? COVID-19. What comes to your mind will be Wuhan. Wuhan in China. Right? That's where it came about. Or that's where it was first recorded. Now, what was the cause? A virus. There are different ideologies about it, right? There are different propagandas about it. So we don't know which exactly is the true picture, but we know that it is a virus. So whether it was genetically manipulated or whatever it is, but it is a virus. So that's what brought about it. Then, what impact has it made, either to individuals, either to the community, or the society at large? Right? So you want to hear the impact. Then, how many people got involved in it? Or how many people were affected by it? Or how many people will benefit from it? Quantity. Then, what are the special features? Special features about that particular thing. What are they? So you want to listen to get that answer. And then financial implication. It could be financial implication based on what it would cost individual to acquire the particular invention. Or it can be financial implication as regards how much the government should budget for it. Alright? Then MCQs. MCQs means multiple choice questions. Multiple choice questions always come out in your listening test. Multiple choice questions. So what happens? During your multiple choice questions, you're going to have A, B, C, D. Now you may be required to select any 2 or any 3 correct answers from the list of options given. So when you have those A, B, C, D, please do not rush to pick a particular answer because the audio will definitely talk about all of them. So when you quickly pick a letter, because that's the first letter, A, and audio is talking about the option rating, you quickly choose it. And all of a sudden, they'll start talking about the second one, and you're like, confused, how? The solution to MCQs is the question. Question will specify what is a must. Question will specify the compulsory requirement. If it says, what 3 things should applicants provide while coming for the interview? So you will see 5 options. You will see attestation letter, you will see consent letter, you will see CV, you will see qualifications, you will see passports or means of identification. But there are only 3 that are compulsory. The audio will talk about all of them. But out of the 5, only 3 are compulsorily needed by the employer. So please, always follow the instruction. Now let's look at maps. Maps. This is another place test takers find quite challenging. So during map reading, please note that there are usually what we call this. What we call this guy? Cardinal points, correct. Navigators, correct. Compass, correct. Okay? Now on every map, you will find this compass or cardinal points. North, south, east, and west. They are always there. But they may not specifically label them north, south, east, and west. No. But you, the test taker, in your mind, know that the top of the map is the north. The bottom part of the map is the south, and the right-hand part of the map is the east, whereas the left-hand side is the west. So, on every map, the audio will always tell you the start point or starting point. Please, do not use your eyes to try to trace where the audio is directing you. You get distracted by other spots on the map. Use your finger or use your pen or pencil to follow the directions. Audio might tell you, okay, so I would like to take you on a tour around the new facility that has been built for students, especially for those of you who like to enjoy after a day's stressful lectures. Let me tell you how through the main entrance of the north. As you go in, there. For instance, if this on your desk, this part is the north, here is the south, right? Here is position. Now, if it says come in through the main entrance on the north, right, facing this way, and then audio says come in through the main entrance on the north, it means you should, in your mind, assume that you have turned to this point and you're now facing this way, because your directions will change automatically. But test takers will be very static, so they tend to use their own position to assume every position of the map. So when you're asked to turn, come into the main entrance on the north, and you come here, and you're asked to turn to the right, from your position, if you don't realize that you're not facing this way, you still remain at that point. That means your north will be this way, whereas they're not supposed to be. You're not to become, no, you're not, yes, you're not to become yourself. Yes. So if you're asked to take the right turn, you are going the left direction, whereas it's supposed to be the right. So always go to the direction or the starting point according to the audio and assume to be at that particular point. So that will help you to take the right directions. Please, is this clear to us? Mr. Shegun, please, Mr. Shakrat, is that clear to us?
Yes, that makes sense.
Mr. Shakrat, are you there? Okay, just want to be sure. So that's the way to go to locate different points or spots on maps. So please be flexible and be very fast, because map reading is usually very fast and spontaneous. So you need to be fast, use your finger or your pen or pencil and follow the directions. Now let's go to the third section. The third section, Gina, what time is it? Oh, it's already past 11, okay. Now, section 3. Let's look at group discussions. For group discussions, it's usually a discussion between 3 or more persons. Discussion between 3 or more persons. So during the group discussions, please, names of the discussants will be given, either by the narrator, or you get to know the names of the discussants when they start exchanging pleasantries amongst themselves. Note their names, but they may not be answers at this point, but note their names. Then, issue of discourse. What are they talking about? They will always say it. So please pay attention and get their issue of discussion. Target audience. Who are they targeting? Who would be their major area of focus? They will establish it. In some cases, there might be age brackets between 45 to 50 or between 15 to 25, whatever it is. Then location. Where exactly are they looking to go to? Perhaps to meet the age bracket of individuals they have chosen. Then what time is best for them to locate those people at that particular spot? They will establish their time. Or it could be time for maybe train schedule or flight schedule, whatever it is, there will be time for it. Now the cost or budget, how much is involved? How much is involved? They will calculate what it would cost them to get to their particular location. Then they want to consider what impact it would make to their project or to the investigations or research that they are conducting. They will look at all of that. Now, individual views. Individual view would be easy for you to establish if you were able to get the names of the discussants at the beginning. So, question might say A, B, C, D, E. What does Sylvia feel about the old man they met? So, Sylvia, the name will be mentioned at the beginning of their exchange of pleasantries. So, you have to listen and express or choose from the option what Sylvia feels. Then, unanimous view. Unanimous view right here means collective agreement. Collective agreement. What have they collectively decided? Or what agreement, what consensus have they reached? So you want to listen to get all of that. Then lastly, solution. What is their final solution? What is their final solution? They would agree either on how to make the presentation, how to arrange their points, how to make the slides, and how to deliver what they have put together. Section 4, we are looking at either monologue or dialogue. Oops, dialogues are rare. So monologues or dialogues or group discussions. But in most cases, please expect monologues during section 4. Okay? Now section 4 usually covers question numbers 31 to 40. Sometimes it could run straight up from 31 to 40 without any stoppage. Some other time it could just get to 35 and take a slight pause. There won't be any audio, there won't be any sound, but the audio is still playing. The reason for that is to help you to read the remaining questions. So don't think the audio has cracked or has stopped playing. So during section 4, when the audio says, first you have some time to read questions 31 to 40, please read from 36 to 40 first. If audio tells you first you have some time to read questions 31 to 40, please go and read 36 to 40. Don't start reading questions 31, 32, because by the time you start from 31, when you start getting towards 35, the audio will begin. So you quickly go back to 31 to start alongside the audio. And of course, 36 to 40, you have no idea of what is there. And because of that, you stand very high chances of missing the remaining ones. Please, do we understand this? If you read questions 36 to 40, you can actually manage 31 to 35 when the audio begins to play. You can manage it because there will always be long gist. So the long gist is deliberate. They want you to find some time to also glance through. Don't get carried away by the long gist. It is not for you. Your duty as a test taker is to focus on the areas you need to provide answers. And then in section 4, when you find or hear your answer, leave that particular spot after writing your answer and go to the next spot where you should get the next answer. Forget about the gist. Now the secret to cope with 31 to 34 is always read the first 2 words and the last word before the particular spot you are supposed to provide answer. Always read the first 2 words and the last word around where you have to supply your answers. And then there are some 31 to 40 that will have subheadings that audio will always hit. So when the audio starts with a subheading, you will know that it's talking about this particular section or area. Okay? Please, section 4, questions 31 to 40, reserve enough energy for it. Reserve enough energy for it because it can be tiring, it can be lengthy, and it can be very fast. Yes. So reserve enough energy. A lot of people just get bored and tired out and they miss or lose a lot of marks from 31 to 40. Please, do we have any question? Please, do we have any question? Mr. Shakira, do we have any question? about listening tests?
Not for now.
Okay, so this is where we shall draw the curtain for listening test training. Please, by the virtue of the fact that we have taken the training from the 3 T's, trick, tips, techniques, and also the 4 sections, please go now and begin to intensify your listening practice. No single human in this world